Welcome to Boomer Bongo Boulevard. I'm Mike, just Mike, and my brother Ron, just Ron, is along with me. And we have a guest today, a special guest here on season 2, episode 33. And it's Marty Ross, a working musician. And he has worked and worked and worked for years. And he's going to talk a little bit about his life and his experiences. And we'll go through all that in a bit. But right now, we want to talk about what he's up to soon. Ron, you want to talk with him about that? Marty, good to see you.
Hey, nice to see
we heard you got a upcoming show, and just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yes, it's I'm a singer and a guitarist with a group called the Wrecking Crew. Surviving members, a lot of them are either retired or just aged and passed away because we're talking about one of the most extremely successful group of session people that ever. This was the West Coast version of what have been the Funk Brothers in Motown and in other places. They had their session group, and this one was not really named the Wrecking Crew until much later on. But suffice for it, that's what the name has become. These guys are legendary. To be able to play and sing and do that stuff with them, sing Glenn Campbell and the Righteous Brothers and Sonny and Cher and to do those voices and to do those recreations, it's quite a thrill and an honor to do that. And this time we have Don Peake and Don Randy. Both of them, you should look up those things. And if you're a young person and you say that was before my time, says so is Jesus in Fire, but you should look it up.
Always some good advice.
These guys are literally incredible musicians and friends too. So we're playing November 9th at a place called Louie's in Westlake Village. Really great, small, intimate club with a great sound system. So everything is really, really great for an audience member to see. Plus, our older crowd gets to sit down the whole time. I don't know when that happened, when people had to pay to stand for a concert. But it's like, in LA here, it's like most of these concerts, they're all standing for 2 and 3 hours, in an hour beforehand. And I'm getting to the age where I just start thinking, does anybody have a chair?
Yeah.
So yes, this is a place that has chairs. And
I carry one of those collapsible stools with me, man. Those things are great.
Well, if you're bathroom habits, we don't need to talk about that. I'm sorry.
No.
You see?
Hey, Marty, I do have a question, kind of a follow-up on that. You're talking about the Wrecking Crew, and you took part a couple of years ago in what sounded like a really interesting, was it? I guess a tribute would be the way to call it to Hal Blaine, the drummer.
Yeah. I played a show with Don Randy and friends at Hal Blaine's posthumous star ceremony in Palm Springs.
Right.
And that was pretty cool because we were playing a bunch of songs from that era, and then we started playing These Boots Were Made for Walking. Halfway through it, Nancy Sinatra is in the crowd. She stands up and she sings the rest of it. And she's on a cane. She's on a cane, and she says, "I never thought I'd be singing this song on a cane." And it says, but there she was, and everybody's going, "Wow, this is That was a pretty cool moment. That was a couple years ago. Hal Blaine was he could play anything. He's just one of those guys. And almost all these players are guys, oh, you want me to do that? You want me to play jazz pop, this or that, swing, whatever. Improvised. I can do that. They literally are those guys that taught everybody else that if somebody calls you up and says, "Can you play this?" you say yes, and then you go study it for an hour, and then go to the session and then learn and then play it, and see that, because there's a level of musicianship that exists that is just outstanding player grades. There's a guy like me. I'm a kind of like a B plus. Sometimes in my life, I've had periods where I'm an A minus kind of guy, and I can play like, but I've never been an A plus or just a player. But there's been times when I thought I was doing really well, and then I'd see some guys and I go, yeah, I know, okay, I just put it away. I'll just put it in its case and just nobody will see it because So yeah, these guys, Don Randy and Don Peak, and the other players that are there too, which feature a lot of really great singers and players, are going to be playing this really great show on November 9th. And it might be the last one they do because the guys are getting really, it's getting time to see these people. If you don't see them, this is it, And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, when I go on stage and I'm asked to sing a song with the Wrecking Crew, it's the weirdest feeling. It's the feeling of walking into a record. It's like all of a sudden, because they play exactly sound like the recordings because they were the ones on the recording. So
Yeah.
and that's just an insane thing to be thinking. I'm inside the I'm not just inside the bubble. The bubble is the only thing. I mean, once you realize that you're in that and you're like listening and you're singing, you never close your eyes anymore when I your lips, and you realize I'm in the band. I'm playing in the record. It sounds like a weird thing to say, but it is exactly like that experience of going, wow, I don't want to screw this up. It's,
Well,
it's
they
yeah.
ask
So it's pretty cool.
they ask you to
Yeah.
take part, so I guess you must have some standard
Right.
of what do you learn?
You're supposed to be there, man.
I must be pretty good if I got asked.
Yeah, come on, if they invited you.
Yeah. Those guys. Well, I see what you're saying. If the A plus players are asking me to play, then I'm going to go with that.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with that theory.
you're just being
Yeah, I
humble.
must be pretty damn good if I got asked.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't measure yourself.
Well, it's
by,
kind of
go,
I've been a
go ahead.
musician all my life. It's really all I've done. I've never done really anything else since I was 5, 6, 7 years old. I've played music on different instruments and sang and I have sung on a ton of records, and I've done a lot of musicianship on a lot of records, a lot of guitar, but a lot of bass, a lot of background vocals. But when you're working, it's like you don't really realize it until the other day when you said for us to come, a little bit early and figure out what we were going to talk about. And I said, okay. So then I started thinking about what I've done. And then I think, well, that's good. That's pretty good. I've been on over 300 episodes of television, and mostly different episodes of different TV shows and different songs and different episodes of different 12, 15 movies. I've done a lot of stuff, but mostly when you're in the thing doing it, it's work. It could be, if I'm doing this, if I'm going like this, what's the difference in that if I love doing that than a guy that's wrenching on a car? The guy loves his wrenching work, and that's an art. We all know that when we've had cars that have broken down,
Well, I gotta tell you,
and we
what you're
take them to
doing
a
is probably a
mechanic,
little more fun.
you're able to fix that, and then other times, well, that's going to be $1,300, and you go, no, it's not. I'm not going to repair it for that cost. With a musician, we get paid about the same money as we did in the 80s. It's a little bit different. Mechanics and stuff have gone up in price, but you go sit there and you see, I sit there and I see a guy playing guitar in the corner of some place, like a restaurant or whatever. And I know, oh no, that poor guy. He really wants to play. I know he's making $150. I know that's it. He's not making a living. He's going to be having to work his ass off and do this for such a long time. And that's kind of like the part and parcel for musicians. So being a Wrecking Crew, being part of the Wrecking Crew shows, I guess, is a sign of validation for me. I guess that people, because I can sit there and say, so what are you doing lately? Oh, I'm playing in a Wrecking Crew show. You play with the Wrecking Crew?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, oh, you must be really good. So yeah, I guess it's a validation thing. Yeah,
Well, that was my first thought, you know.
yeah, and I must be good. Uh,
Yeah, I
see,
mean, you know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of a buddy of mine that was talking about he ran track in college, and I asked him where, and he said Arkansas, and I went, oh, okay, he's good because they
yeah.
won like I don't know how many national championships. So you know,
Well, that's kind of a big difference between track and field and music is you can win a 100-meter dash or whatever, and nobody's going to complain about the shoes you wore. You know, as a musician, you go, I didn't like the way he played it this time, or this or that, or his voice wasn't that good, or this or that. You know, I mean, it's really much tougher because it's all opinionated. Music is just thrown out, and it's in an opinion. But running, I wish to hell when I was about 22 years old that I would have said, nope, I'm not going to do music. I'm going to do track and field. At least if I'm mediocre, I know where I stand because I went fourth place. You know, so there's no judgment except where you finish, and
yeah,
that so yeah,
yeah, I
being
can
a good
understand that end of it. I was a graphic designer for almost 30 years. Yeah, it's yeah, people
you
picking your
were
stuff apart. Yeah,
so
I got it.
tell me
I was a
about your
graphic
guitars back there.
designer
What do you
for
have?
what's that? I'm sorry.
What are those guitars? They're
Oh,
begging to be heard.
well, I'm not going to play them. I can bring one closer. Hold on.
You see how I switched it around?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
very good.
You see?
Okay.
He forgot they were back
I'll bring the
And
two
I want
mics.
more.
mistake.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Okay.
Oh, look at this. Wait a minute. Yeah. See, here we
Like I said,
go.
I can't really. I can't play guitar much at all. But this is actually my wife's
3
guitar. I
hours
just
later.
wanted it. It's a Washburn.
Oh,
Pretty
that's not a
nice.
bad man.
Yeah.
That's not a bad guitar. They make decent guitars.
And now this is the only thing I can play halfway decent. And this is my PVT 40. It weighs about 100 pounds.
I've had a PV guitar too that weighed. Well, it was my first professional guitar really,
Yeah.
and I just bought it because it was like $60 cheaper than a Strat. So
Gotta
so
say,
but it was like literally when we were with the Wigs and we would like sit there in first months of being with the Wigs, and I didn't realize how much jumping we'd do, so I had to hurry and get another guitar. Or back was
Make
going
it something lighter.
every day. I'd only jump like this high off the ground because the thing weighed 8 pounds.
Yeah, that thing's like an anvil.
Oh,
damage your vertical.
so
So what is it, Marty? You're
All right.
talking about
Cut your
seeing
verticals
these
in
young.
half, I'm sure.
what's that?
Marty, you're talking about seeing these young guys. You go into a coffee house or a bar or something like that, and the guy's sitting in the corner. I mean, what's your perception of the music scene today for younger people? It's got to. I guess it's tougher, but I wonder if there are as many musicians around as there used to be. I got a sneaky feeling that a lot of people who would have developed into musicians in the '60s are playing video games now instead of learning to play an instrument. Does that make
But
sense?
maybe it's a music video game. No.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, maybe they're doing it
Yeah,
digital. Yeah.
the music business is, well, okay, a metaphor. Metaphor time with Uncle Marmar.
There you go.
Metaphor time would be when I was growing up and I was a young boy, I would go to the record store in Rockford, Illinois. It was called the Record Mart. It was the Record Mart. And the Record Mart, you walk into there, and it was a place about the size of an average living room in people's houses with about 8 racks. And one was current 45s and then albums and then this and that, jazz, Broadway, this and that. And it was just about like that. It was just about that size, right? We all know those record stores or record parts of a general part of a store that was like a little part of the store that had records. Now, imagine nowadays walking into 5 connected Sam Clubs or Costco's, and it's all records. Everything that was ever released in the history of mankind, because that's essentially what it's like. If you want to put out a record and you want to put out an album or you want to put out a song, you're up against the history of music. And it's not just like moving forward or we don't have any more Broadway. We'll got Broadway, we have 2 albums, whatever. It's thousands and thousands upon thousands of hundreds of thousands of millions recordings that a person goes in there with their $20 to figure out what they're going to buy. And you're up against the history of music. How do you make a decision based upon where you're going to do that with? How are you going to say, oh, I'll take that new album by that guy, and I haven't got Rod Stewart's greatest hits yet, so I'm going to, if you're up against everybody's greatest hits and the history of music, you don't have a shot of without putting money into your own career, 10 grand to do a minuscule amount of Facebook promotions or TikTok promotions or Instagram promotions. And that's where the musicians are not being able to do their stuff, is because they don't have $10,000 to just put on a song, right? And that's what Taylor Swift and all that. I mean, Taylor Swift spends as much as she makes on her career. She knows exactly how to be able to do it and be able to keep that revenue going, because she knows where to put the money in and when and how. And it's just because there's some people that know how to do that. But me personally, the fact that I'm actually talking to you guys on the internet right now is a tremendous leap for me to be able to do, because I can write a song, I can perform a song, I can record a song, I can sing a song, I can sing the things, I can mix it, I can do that. But am I supposed to then do the video and then place the video and then have the video in there and then do the promotions and do that? That's the daunting world of being a musician right now. And if you're sitting there saying, I'd rather not sit there and work at the 7-Eleven or the Quick Mart, and I'd rather sit there and play for 2 hours for $150 at a coffee shop, then that's your prerogative. But you're never going to have anybody walk in there and just say, I can't believe how good you are. My name's Sam Silverstone from Warner Brothers. I need to sign you to my label. That's not going to happen. And if you understand that, and you go in there and you're making your $150 and you're doing it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's an extra $450 for to come in on an income, which is useful, So, yeah, the music business now is to the point where I used to get a lot of my income off of placing songs on TV shows. And how that used to work was called work for hire, and they would hire you out for a specific kind of song. My specialty was jukeboxes and airports. So with jukebox and airports, they can't afford the ZZ Top song, but they want something to sound like it. So they give me $2,000 to record, do the thing, instead of paying ZZ Top $100,000 for just a little thing in the background to establish that it's a kind of bar that plays ZZ Top. That's called an establishment scene. So you sit there, if you can establish what it is for 2,000 versus that's what that was. Well, that worked for 10 years. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of things, except then the big change is that the record companies started not being able to assure the payola. Oops, I said the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's hardly any such thing anymore, because there's too many different sources to have to get. It's not like you're gonna payola to that set of radio stations. It's like, no, that one radio station is 400 radio stations now, and this and that, or it's one this and that, or it's SM Sirius. So what they do is they've got their baby bands, which they call the bands that don't have the big budgets, and they take those people, artists, and they throw those things at TV and movies to all the music supervisors of who they know personally. And they say, we'd love to get Jane Bourbon, or I'm just making the name up. Jane, we'd like to get Jane Bourbon in that TV show. And he says, well, how much do you want for it? He says, we're not going to, because they're not going to charge the record companies won't charge for it because they want the publicity. What's more powerful than having 1 million people watch on this TV show your song and then have at the end be able to just look it up and be able to do? That's a big way. That's the most powerful way that you can get your music immediately to people. So how does that fit in with me? It doesn't, because I'm not going to throw my music in there for free. That's not what I do. I'm not going to get hired for two. They're going to throw in one of their own bands. They undercut themselves so they didn't have to pay the band or the TV show or this or that. Then they just go, hey, you're going to get your song in this TV show. And these young bands that are like 18, 22 years old are going, oh, thank you so much for doing that for us.
Sure.
And it's
Marty, I was looking at your Facebook page, and by the way, to our 12 or 13 personal friends who watch our channel,
are you not hearing them either?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm having a hard time hearing right now.
Okay. Yeah, I can. Can you hear me, Marty? Can Marty hear me?
Go ahead.
It's coming on and off.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Ron, if you might repeat it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's got a great Facebook page. He's got a great Facebook page called
I'll say
Marty Ross Music.
You're my favorite hero, Marty Ross, and I've never met a man so powerful and wonderful as you. So I'm just trying to read your lips.
Ron, if you can hear me repeat it, ask him about the
Maybe not. No, we can't hear you at all. You're having a connection problem.
Okay.
It says reconnecting.
Continue.
Yeah, okay, you're seeing the same thing I am.
Go. Continue.
Okay,
now I can't hear you either.
Okay, let's see.
You guys done this before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll happen on occasion. We're going to try to power through for a minute. If he doesn't come back in a minute, we'll cut and come back.
If you're happy and know it, clap your hands. There you go. As soon as I start playing music, this is a story of my life.
Hey, sometimes I think this
is
kind
the story of my life.
Funnier than the other stuff.
Oh, sure it is. Sure it is.
That's why I'm hardly ever editing into shows. I just leave all the crap in. It's it's more natural that way. I like that
because you use as the clickbait. You use as a clickbait. Epic fail on interview, and that's what you type. And then you'll like our biggest watch because of the failure. See, that's how it works.
Oh yeah.
See. Yeah.
Can
you hear me now?
Oh,
I only see one of you.
I've been able to hear you the whole time since he's been trying to reconnect. Like I said, we'll push forward. And I'll give him a few minutes to try to jump back in.
We never dated, so don't say anything about reconnecting. We're not doing that today.
No.
Now.
Well, let's see. Well, the one thing, of course, I'm sure everybody always asks you the about the new Monkees and all that, and but I was kind of more interested with the I've never been through any auditions or anything like that, and it's got to be nuts and it's got to be nerve-wracking and everything else. And I was just kind of wondering, kind of like what that was like, because you were a young guy and then.
Well, okay. I didn't want to be in the new Monkees, so it's like my manager said there's an audition, and so I went to go see that, and then they asked me, he says, what makes you want to be a new Monkee? And I said, I don't want to be a new Monkee. I don't know why I would want to do this. I love the Monkees. He said, oh, we're not going to call it the new Monkees. We're just doing it as a place card. Oh, okay. Well, man. I mean, I could use the job. So I left, and I went home, and I had my girlfriend, Denise, at the time. She asked me, how did it go? And I said, well, I don't think I'm going to get anything because I told them I didn't want to do it. She said, what? I said, yeah, I told them I didn't want to do it. So, and so next day, they call me, well, we like you enough that we want to see you again. I said, what? So this is a lesson for all you kids out there that are auditioning for things. Tell them you don't want it, because if you're the thing is that if you if Hollywood is so screwed up that if you show that you're over enthusiastic about anything that they're trying to look for somebody, they're thinking, well, we don't really need that kind of person. We need somebody to be pretty cool or this or that or whatever. So yeah, the auditioning of it, I guess in New York they did 6,000 people, and in LA they had an invite. So I was invited, and I didn't realize then, but I was on the cusp for a lot of people's ears of TV shows and this and stuff that I didn't realize that till later that my manager didn't need to know about. So there was all these commercials and this and stuff, and I wasn't really thinking about that world. I was in a rock band, and I was about that. But I thought, wow, and I couldn't really grasp my mind around the idea of the new Monkees. I couldn't do
Yeah, I
that.
can see that.
And so and then I met the other guys, and we went through the auditions together on the set of New Gidget, which I thought everything's new Gidget, new Munsters. I mean, it's all new, everything, except for one thing: the new Leave It to Beaver and the new Munsters and the new Gidget had something remarkably different than the Monkees. The original Monkees, they had their names. They weren't Biff, played by Mickey Dolenz or whatever. And that was such a brilliant move, because it's like Ricky Nelson, the Nelson family. They were really those names. They were really the people. So they decided to go with that. So they went with the names of the guys. And that was brilliant, because nobody could replace them. You can't replace them, because that's a real name. Yeah. Like, I went home after I found out I was on the show, and my mother asked me, "Which one are you going to be?" And no. So, and I went, "No, Mom, and I said, I'm going to be Marty Ross. And she says, "Oh, well," she says, "You're good at that." So,
As soon as you said that you weren't interested in kind of blowing them off, I thought in my head, I was going like, "Oh, okay, that's how I got it." Because that's the way it works. I think in almost every situation, when you kind of blow people up, they go, "Oh man, I want him." But if you're excited, they're like, "Get out of here."
My father was a conservative man, and he did not trust anything that went on in Hollywood, and rightfully so. But literally didn't trust the system or whatever it was. And and then I told him, I said, they're going to sign me to a 40-week contract at $5,000 a week, Dad. And he just went like this. He said, "Well, that's great, son.
He was in then.
And all of a sudden, it was like all sins were forgotten. Like finally, because that was $5,000 in 1986. That was a good amount of money every week. It's a good amount now. So back then, it was kind of like I had a hard time spending that money fast, but I did. I did. But the Monkees were always like one of those. They're kind of a real mystery. I mean, for being as transparent as being a band and a TV show and all this stuff, and being their faces world famous and all this, it's just one of those things where it's a mystery. It's you got a show with the guys that sing, and then they get successful, and then they don't want to have anything to do with the machine that made them famous, but they want to become their own band. And then you sit there and you say, well, that never works. It just to because lightning doesn't strike twice. It just doesn't. But they found a way to make it work. So, they're a very, very unique band. But as time went on, and I realized that our record, the new Monkees record, was going to be good, and our TV show was going to be a pile of cow manure, was that I really didn't really have much more to do with the show after, we got to a point and it was canceled. And I never in my life experienced being blackballed more in Hollywood than I was after that show.
Yeah.
I was in a band called the Orchids that were signed to Epic Records, and they had an album coming out, and they auditioned me, and I was perfect for the band. I was a rhythm player, some leads, but I'm just a killer I'm dead straight as a harmony vocalist. You couldn't go wrong by having me. That's probably my biggest sensory ability in music is harmony. So literally, it's about 3 hours before we're supposed to play we're supposed to play this premiere gig at SIR for industry people and stuff. And the guys come up to me and says, "You didn't tell us you were in the New Monkees." I said, you didn't ask or whatever." I said, "Yeah, but we can't have you in a band.
Oh man.
You're blowing our credibility up."
Oh God.
And this happened like to 3 or 4 bands of going in bands, and then they go, and I couldn't tell them. I felt for that whole thing when it was over, I just went, and it had nothing to do with my talent. It had to do with politics.
Yeah.
Perception.
I mean, yeah. Can you imagine going back to Mickey Dolenz and having him Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young and Dolenz? I mean, Mickey would be more than qualified, absolutely, to be in that band. Said, but Stephen Stills would probably sit there saying, "I tried out for the Monkees, and look what happened to them." It's a story because there's a lot of things that go on with music and politics and this and that and why things happen. But people are awfully cynical and awful when it comes to like, oh, they were a one-song band or a one-hit wonder, or if there's a band that one-hit wonder and they go one-hit wonder, going, they had a hit. You know how hard that's to do? You know how hard that is to do is to have a hit song? That's
they had one more
incredibly
hit than you did,
difficult.
pal.
It's not even like the needle in the haystack. It's the needle in the earth.
Yeah.
It's and then you say, "Oh yeah, you guys going to play your hit song tonight?" Yeah, so and I did that once with Mickey. We were talking, and some fan came into the dressing room and said, "Oh, this is wanted an autograph." I signed an autograph. Mickey signed an autograph, and the girls was so earnest and said, "So Mickey, what's the difference between the New Monkees and the original Monkees?" I said, "I'll answer that." I said the difference between the original Monkees and the New Monkees is I'm not trapped with success and fame and fortune. I don't have to go out and play my hits. I don't have a hit. Nobody knows what the last song is I'm going to, But with Mickey, you got to go play I'm a Believer last every show for wherever you're going to go, and because it's your biggest hit. I don't have that problem. I don't have fortune. I don't have fame. And she just went, "Oh yeah." Yeah, she agreed. Under the radar. They turned off the radar.
The kind of with this TV theme, I saw a reference to it on your Facebook account. You had a whole listing of television theme songs that you linked on your account. Is that something that you really like? Because it's something I really like. I can listen to TV themes all day. Did that influence you? It had to help you when you were writing for TV.
Well, what's interesting is generally in the old days, you had 60 seconds, which seemed to be an incredibly short amount of time to be able to write a theme song. Then they would write it down to 30 and go to the 30 seconds, and then a 15 and a 10, 5, whatever. Gilligan's Island, let's say, for now, theme songs, if you look at the theme song of that particular show, which it's brilliant, it's a brilliant theme song because it says the whole show in the theme. It says the entire plot. Now here's a tale of a 3-hour tour, this and that. And then it says they had a storm, they're on a beach, and now here we are set on an island with the cast. And it's like, that is pretty freaking brilliant.
Yes.
And now theme songs are like 4 seconds, do-do-do-do-do-ba.
Right. Like like The Office, that little piano.
Yeah, there's no, the theme songs, the heyday of theme songs is done. There are some of them that are okay. And some of them that are okay, but most of them are instrumental. Most of them don't have vocals.
Right.
And so the TV theme song stuff, if I'm working on a TV theme song, I need to know what the show is about, what it is, and that sets a mood, and then the lyric comes up. Probably, the last one I did was for a pilot, and the pilot was called Tiki House, and it was about a family that runs a tiki souvenir shop at an amusement park. So I was given the task, and all of a sudden I was like, it was
I like
funny.
that one.
Yeah, it was funny. And yeah, the show did a pilot, and then it never aired, and it was, which leads me to the three of us starting the whole new network that I forgot to tell you guys that we're doing today. You ready?
All right, lay it on.
Sure. Ready.
There is no network television. There is no network on cable or whatever that does short-lived TV shows that were canceled, 13 episodes and out, whatever. I mean, there are thousands of them. And they're all out there. And you can and I don't know why people just don't throw them out and a special channel, because here's the first time every show would be like a premiere. Here it is. Here's the second season here's the second season of The Nanny. It just shows that you've never seen.
Sure.
I don't because what's happening now is MeTV and all this other stuff are showing the same shows.
Yeah.
All the time. They're showing the same shows that were popular back then. But there's all this programming that wasn't popular. That doesn't mean that they were terrible or bad or whatever. No. Some of them were awful. I'll attest to that. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's so much more bad TV on. When the new Monkees was out, I thought that we had created the worst show in the history of television. And I was proud of that. And I said, how hard that is to do. It's so hard to create that worse, that now I have this weird feeling that not only is the new Monkees not only one of the worst shows, if not the worst show ever, is it's not even close now. And then I know there's going to be people who are going to write, oh no, it's close. But that's the thing, it's like when you're doing, it takes so much chemistry between so many different facets of so many different parts of making a TV show or a film that we've all run into movies where we go, yeah, the book was so much better, or that you go, oh, that's because it's so difficult to do. You have so many more moving parts. When you're reading a book, you are imagining what the characters look like. You imagine what their voices sound like. We're doing all the work. We're absolutely doing all the work. Then a TV comes out with a TV show. They're doing all the work, and if you don't like the way that it's presented, this or that or whatever, then it's your right to not like it because it might not be as good. Oh, that wasn't what the guy wrote about it. That character didn't look like that. She was not a blonde. She was a brunette. You know that, and those are the things that you kind of get into the discussion with bad TV. So the idea is to make a channel called canceled cult cancel or something, CCTV or something, you know.
Sure.
Cult
Cancel
And
Cult Channel. Cancel Cult Channel. That would be it. Just
well, I mean,
Triple C. Triple C.
if you
I like
watch
Triple
on,
C.
if you watch on, yeah, if you watch, yeah, if you watch on, YouTube, you'll be able to find the worst TV shows of 1968 or 67. It's just literally you can find them. They show the promos for these TV shows, but
Yeah, I've watched some of those. Yeah.
yeah, and you go, I can't believe they made that, and it's like, yeah, they did, but you know, kind of weird is that you can sit there and watch those. These are better than a lot of TV shows now. TV shows
sure.
now are. I don't know how they made these things with the idea that these would attract viewers. Now, what about two brothers that do a podcast that is on video that the reception goes bad on,
Hey,
and
man,
one guy
we're great at that.
and the other guy I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine having a show like
That is
that?
freaking awesome.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah,
People love the reality.
what's that? What's that goom ball in the back behind you? What is that? That's
Do what?
behind you.
Oh,
Oh,
me?
me or oh,
Yeah.
It's Baby
oh, it's like a
Yoda
chicken with a
without
Poland's ass or
the
something.
monk's hood on. That's Baby Yoda without the monk's hood on.
Is
I
that
just stuck it on top of the lamp just for background.
Yodain?
I have grandchildren. This is all their leftover stuff.
Yeah, me
that,
too.
they're over. And they're over.
I think we probably all do.
Yeah. Hey, Marty.
Yeah,
you know, we
I
talked
remember.
about.
There's a friend of mine.
Oh, I lost it again. I'm out.
I'll bet $5. All in.
It looks like he's frozen there. Well, oh no, there he is.
I
He's
just
back.
came
Hey,
back
all
in.
right.
I went out and I came back in.
Okay. Hey, we were
Marty,
about to
you're
get
an
another musical interlude, man. It was going to be great.
What have you got? What have you got rolling around in your head that might be your next project? I know everybody needs to keep moving, and is there something that you're trying to put together for 2026?
Yeah.
Give us an idea. Come on. We're keeping it a secret.
Hey, you got the same agenda. My agenda's waking up tomorrow.
This is not a game.
I haven't got past that yet.
Okay. So they want to know what I'm doing in 2026. Well, I'm gonna get myself sick by eating pixie sticks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat 1,000 of them, the purple and the blue. And then I will just sit here and I'll throw up all over you. Oh, yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yo. And that's the way that story goes.
All right. I was
2026,
a lighter, man.
I have. That's right, and I made nothing on that. So
so far,
I'm gonna be probably. Yeah, 2026 is going to be a few shows. I've got an album that I've recorded that I have never released. It's not published. It's just 10 songs that I did with Christian Nesmith, who's one of the sons of Michael. And we got really into a situation where we got some great songs that I wrote, and we worked on the music together. He's an insanely great musician. The only problem that I had with him doing everything and helping me with the record was is that by the time that I had listened to the album all the way through, I said, well, hell, I'm going to need like 12 players on stage to do all this. It was insane. It was so wonderfully, wonderfully done. But it was like, it was a difficult, it's difficult to play it live because
Yeah.
so I don't know what to do with it outside of maybe I'll release the record but you got to play your stuff out. I'm just too, I don't really, I'm winding down on my career in music, and I love music and I love playing and singing. But I don't really find it to be the ultimate drive that I have to have. I don't
Right.
need to do this. I don't really. I've done it so many times
Yeah.
and I've written so many different songs. Some of them are actually good. And so
I heard one of them that was produced by
yeah.
Michael. You posted it on your Facebook page. It was dedicated to your mother, and it was really nice.
Oh, damn.
I can't
Oh,
remember.
that song. Yes. Oh,
I
let's see.
can't remember the name of it, but it was a super nice song.
I need you. You want me. Da, 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 da. I just want to say hello. That song?
Yeah, that's it.
That-
That's it. Which,
yeah. I wrote that, and it was a song that's just like my mother and my dad like died within a year and a half to 2 years of each other, and it's and you kind of you write what you write in the moment, and the good writers write that have a way of expressing the things that happen in their life in a way that is poetry and also art, and you can listen to stuff, and I have a gift of being able to write certain kinds of songs, but then there's other kinds of songs I have trouble writing. So whenever a good one like that comes out, thank you, I appreciate that.
it's a nice song.
That's
It
a
really
good
is.
song, and I really like that. I really like that song. Thank you. I forgot about it because I've written so many that I don't remember them, and then I'll look here on the phone and I'll go, oh, there's something to write about that particular subject, and I'll go, oh, okay, there we go. There's something to write about.
It's
Buildings crumbling in L.A. or something like that.
well, it's on your Facebook page, and anybody that's listening that wants to look it up, I guess just get on. Once again, your Facebook page is
I can't hear.
it's Marty Ross Music. Just go to Marty Ross Music and just scroll down, and you'll see
I'm definitely going to have to
Be a
go there and
reference
listen
to
to
it.
it. That's for sure.
And yeah, it's really, really nice. And
Well, no,
worth
I've
the-
got 10 more that are just equally as bad.
All right.
Well, that one wasn't bad. It was not bad at all.
Wait a
And
minute.
matter of
I
fact,
can't-
I'm
I
going to
think
listen to
I
it.
can't-
again.
crapping out and stuff. I think that's
Yeah.
a pretty good place to kind of start winding things up here. So,
All right.
Marty,
man,
thank you for
Then
being
one
on.
one more song. I've got it for you. Here
All
it
right,
is.
okay.
lay it on us.
There's two brothers that try and try, but the thing's wrong, and the thing's why. I'd like to say to everybody that you are la la la. And it's what with songs now. And we're going to the chorus, and we're going to sing la 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 la. And that's the chorus of many songs now.
All right.
Oh,
As long as we want to do
Yeah,
it.
sure. Well, I'll just tell you that music is going to be around. Where it's going to be hurting is AI. I hope that in a few years people would sit there and say we've had enough of it. There needs to be some sort of legislation that, and I don't know why they're not doing this, but I guess because it's just really stupid, that there needs to be some sort of watermark. If AI influence is on a song or on a picture or on anything, there needs to be an AI watermark so you know that it's not 100% human derived. And if you know that, then you can accept it, then it's okay, but you should know. You
Right.
should know. That's what I say about that AI stuff. Because there's gonna be bands that don't exist that are gonna have hit songs.
Yeah.
There's
That's
just it's
true.
not, they don't exist at all. It's
Yeah.
going to be on SNL. They're going to be a screen thing, and it's
Yeah.
going to be, but the people are going to love the song. It's going to happen, and
Well,
it's
one thing
we're
for sure, if you see my dorky face, you're going to know damn well it's not AI. Because who the hell would AI this?
right, right. Well, thank you guys for having me on your show. I hope that
Oh,
you've
thank you.
learned a
We've
lesson.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, maybe one of these days we'll be able to get past 30 minutes without all the crap outs on this
Oh,
thing.
Right.
yeah, sure. I'm
Just
sure you
remember,
can edit it down. Right? You
November
can edit that
9th
thing down. Right?
at Louis in Westlake Village.
All
And
right.
that's all I have to say. It's the Wrecking Crew show, and I'll be there singing a bunch of stuff. Glenn
All right.
Miller. Let's see, that's older. I'm going to be singing Glenn Miller. That's right. Yes, that's.
Good.
Wait a minute, that doesn't quite sound right. Glenn Kent. Oh, that's
Yeah, I think I could sing Glenn Miller.
yeah.
I can just stand there and go.
All right, you guys, don't get in any more trouble. And I know that you guys are going to just do nothing but swear at each other when it's off.
I'm just gonna laugh like I am now. I mean, hey, I don't sweat things too hard. Life's too short, man.
Life's too short.
That's right.
I didn't say that when I was 5.
All right.
Life was long. Take care.
Bye. See
You
ya.
guys have a hey, thanks a lot for that.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
We
I
do
like these
appreciate
kinds of shows where people learn nothing.
Perfect.
it. I think we're
All
both
right. And that's yet another episode of Boomer Bongo Boulevard, and we're out. Thanks, Marty.
Okay.